This is Doug Heikkinen with Iris.xyz, and I'm here in San Francisco at the Hightower Apex Conference with Kyle Maynard. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. A little fired up, sweaty after the last thing, but...
Yeah, you just got done with your session.
Yeah.
Thinking back to you when you were a little boy, when did you realize you had the drive, the enthusiasm to do the things that you wanted to do?
That's my first recollection of both really feeling kind of different, but also kind of that determination. I remember when I was a kindergartner, I was in a show and tell class, and I was trying to show my toy to the kids, and it was a toy machine gun, which wouldn't really fly, bringing it to schools nowadays, right? But I'm like sitting there trying to play with this toy gun and like pull the trigger and make the sound. I dropped it on the ground, I had prosthetic arms and legs on, and I couldn't jump out and grab it. And so teacher saw this, my mom saw this and was watching, and I told them I wanted to come to school without my big arms and big legs the next day. And she let me, and they took kids at the end of the day, told the teacher that they liked me better like that. This is the last time I ever wore them. And I was at, I think it took the teacher probably 3 or 4 hours to explain to the kids why Kyle had arms and legs yesterday, but he's not going to today, but they worked out better.
So you've done some amazing things in your life. Played football, MMA, climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. What's been the hardest thing, do you think? Are they all hard?
Well, it's not so much that, they're all hard in different ways. Physically, the mountains were very tough. Wrestling, obviously MMA. But I'd say the hardest things to me are now, the hardest things are the best things, and it usually involves reinventing myself. I know you have a lot of entrepreneurs that are watching this, and as an entrepreneur, you constantly have to reinvent yourself. You have to take risk. You have to be able to be willing to go and pivot into something that, you might have to give up the old to go and then climb for that next plateau, that next tier, to then, experience something that much better. So it's a continual hard thing, but it's the hard things that do make life better.
So what are you working on now? That's the kind of the thing that's going on for you.
One of the biggest things I wanted to go and do is like this, photography, videography, getting the message out to more people, learning, to go and do more of that myself. It communicates, I think, the message too, that if I'm able to go and operate a camera and shoot myself or different things, whatever, then I could go and, it just communicates the message without necessarily saying things more overtly. It's like, and it's also storytelling. I want to be more into that, and to tell other stories, to, tell the stories of people that I meet, tell the story of, you, like we were talking about with the Iris name and mythology and those connections, right? Like, I've been very fortunate to meet some amazing people, and I want to be able to go and document more of that and show that more to the world as I travel the world. This summer I'll be in Tokyo, Croatia, Greece again, just got back from Spain and Greece. I don't know. It's a tough life.
What's the one big thing you want to achieve, climbing something or doing something? What's the next big thing to achieve?
It's right now, I just got back from a trip of doing a 240-mile bike ride over 8 days through Greece, literally about a week ago. Yeah. And that was physically tough. I'm kind of in that process of kind of reinventing what is going to be this next big physical goal. But I'd say, is a spectrum in my life and legacy, I would want it to be helping, especially like teach and change mindset, especially for kids, and kids that maybe didn't have the parents or grandparents that I had growing up. I was very fortunate to have parents and grandparents that didn't see the disability. They didn't focus on that as much. They knew it was there. Obviously, we talked about it, but it wasn't. They didn't allow it to be the focal center point of my life. And not every kid has that. I want to go and bring, my grandma Betty to kids that don't have that.
I have a 8-year-old little boy. What would you tell little boys and little girls about dreaming big and accomplishing those things?
I think it's not necessarily like distilled in one lesson, but it's that day by day. It's to watch what they do when they're struggling, right, and how they go and react and respond to that, and just to encourage them to continue to stay in the fight. And there's some things too. That being said, like I also, some people say never give up. I don't think that's true. I think there are things that we definitely need to give up very quickly, right? But it's maybe it's not every sport is for everybody. There's that fine line between things that we need to focus on persevering with or pivoting into something else. Sometimes for an entrepreneur, for instance, or a little kid, they might be focused, we might be going down a path that doesn't serve us completely, and we need to go and give that up. And it actually is harder to go and then focus on something else. So it's really, I guess it's such a situational thing, but it's more of instilling that spirit inside them that no matter where they are going, no matter where they're showing up, that they can do something. And also too, it's like, you've got two choices. You can make the world better or not, right? And it's kind of black or white. It's, So then, how are they making their classmates, their teammates, their friends like better? And that's tough in the world that we live in today. But it's like not about just us and me and what am I getting out of this all the time. I think that takes care of itself if we're focused on providing value for other people.
You have a book. What's your book called?
The book is No Excuses.
And you can find it anywhere, Amazon and whatnot.
Hopefully you can find it anywhere.
Thank
If not, then I'm not doing my job right.
Thank you so much for
Awesome.
being with us
Thanks,
today. It's been
man.
great.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
Take care.
brother. Awesome.